Hello and welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is the weekly tarot forecast for Gemini, and we start you out with the Eight of Cups. Now we're going to lay out the rest of our 10-card spread this week, but we are also going to do an 11th card, kind of a bonus card. It is going to be our confirmation card, and we're not going to look at that until the very end of the reading, and this is going to hopefully wrap everything up, tie everything together nicely, and give us that confirmation that we're looking for, okay? So, we started out with the Eight of Cups. So I wonder if the situation this week isn't one where you're starting to lose a little bit of faith in things, you're starting to feel a little bit pessimistic. Maybe you're just feeling a little bit of a lack of energy this week, and it's kind of manifesting as a loss of interest in things. You're just feeling a little run down, a little bit lazy, and you're looking for something that's going to just boost your energy and give you that excitement back. And let's see if we can get a little more context. Now, initially, I see a lot of air cards here. So I wonder if this isn't related to some kind of mental stress, some kind of relationship stress. I see that you're the type of person who really likes things to be black and white. You really do like to know where you stand. You like things to be very clear and straightforward and to the point. You don't like a lot of beating around the bush. I think you have a history of really making firm decisions. I think that you're the type of person who you don't really like the argument. You like people to make up their minds and make their decisions quickly and stick to what they've decided and stick to their word. With this Two of Swords here, is kind of representing your unconscious a little bit, maybe a little bit of your personal history. And I think you're one to really want people around you, and you expect this of yourself too, to make decisions clearly, to not be too, vacillating, not too back and forth or uncertain in their choices. You want people to just figure out what they want and go for it and make the decision and communicate that. And I think you hold yourself to the same standard where you really strive to make up your mind quickly and firmly, and then once you do, that's it, that's your decision, right? I really think that you're that type of person. In the immediate past, I think that there was some kind of a relationship issue or an emotional issue, maybe some kind of turmoil or friction with someone very close to you, a friend, a family, a lover. And I think that there was kind of a rocky relationship there, or a stormy kind of time for you that has recently settled. With this Four of Cups here, I see that whatever that rocky relationship was, whatever that stormy kind of situation was, has now settled. And this could just be the relationship has settled and you got over whatever that hump was, whatever the issue was is now kind of behind you and things are stabilizing. This could be that you've ended the relationship and now your emotions are stabilizing. But the main idea here is that in the recent past there was some sort of emotional turmoil that has now, it's now behind you and things are starting to settle and get back to a calm, firm basis emotionally. And that's what we get with the Four of Cups, because that stormy sea is kind of behind you, not too far behind, but it's something that you're just coming out of and you're starting to get settled and get back to a calm, kind of stable emotional place. And again, that could be by whatever means. It could be that the relationship ended and now things are settled. It could be that you've worked out whatever issue you had and now things are settled. But the point there is that it was rocky and stormy for a time, and now it is calm. But with that calm, like I said, you have this lack of energy, this lack of excitement and enthusiasm, and this lack of interest really in doing the things that once were quite meaningful for you. So I think this is kind of the theme for the week, is this this lack of energy, the lack of excitement or enthusiasm for the things that once gave you pleasure, for life in general, really, that excitement that you once had. Another factor in this situation, I think, is this Knight of Swords here. I think this is this is what you're hoping for. This is like your ultimate goal. This is how you want this situation to end. And I think this is seeing the initiative in this person, which I think is probably another air sign, maybe an older male energy in your life. And I think you're kind of wanting them to lighten things up, to spark that interest in you again, or maybe to bring that passion and excitement out of you again. So I think you're maybe waiting for this person to pull you out of this Eight of Cups situation with that kind of lack of energy, that lack of excitement, that kind of rut that you're in. I think you're expecting this person, or you're waiting for this person to just kind of come in like a breath of fresh air and just enliven things again. Okay, so your highest ideal, really what you're hoping for in this situation, is that this person, and this could be who you were in this kind of rocky period emotionally with. It could be the same person. I think this is another air sign. I think it may be an older male energy. I think that perhaps you're waiting for them to kind of come in and pull you out of this, or to inspire you again, right? I mean, even the word inspiration has that feeling of air flowing, right? And so with this air card, I think you're really waiting for them to come and just kind of enliven things again, to inspire you. But what is really going to happen, I think, in the immediate future, rather than this person, you know, coming in and bringing that breath of fresh air to you, I think it's going to be this Four of Wands that's really going to come. You're going to have to really make the conscious decision to make some changes and to do something differently in your life, okay, to help yourself out of this situation. And with this Four of Wands, I see that this situation is coming to a close. You're going to get through this Eight of Cups period, whatever this is that's going on, this kind of rut that you're in. It's going to come to an end, and things are going to move on, and you're going to start proceeding forward. Well, how are you going to do that? What's the means by which you get to that Four of Wands, that completion of this, and then moving on to the next phase? That's where this Eight of Discs come into play. This is the method of how you get from point A to then point B, this Four of Wands, and it's through this Eight of Discs. And this is that self-care, being gentle with yourself, being just mellow and soft and calm with yourself. Pay attention to the needs of your physical body, right? Make sure you're getting enough water, you're eating the right foods, you're getting the right kind of exercise. And I think that'll do a lot for you to get yourself out of whatever this rut or this emotional kind of valley that you might be in. Okay, I think it really is through self-care, through paying attention to the signals from your body, from the needs of your body, like I said, the nutrition, the exercise, and just getting out into nature and taking things slowly, and literally, as this card depicts, just watching the flowers grow, right? Just watching the plants do their thing, I think is very therapeutic, and it does a lot, at least for me. It does a lot for me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and it really is inspiring to just get out into nature and experience that for no other reason than to just be out there and be part of it. Okay, I think that, along with the self-care and the nutrition and the exercise, I think is really going to bring you closer to this completion, this Four of Wands, this completion of this cycle of the Eight of Cups to bring you into your future, right? And this is also literally like just taking in that fresh air. You know, you're waiting for, I think, this older male energy, this other air sign, to kind of bring you that breath of fresh air. But I think you need to go out into the world and literally inhale that fresh air, right? I think that'll do a lot to bring you, again, out of this kind of this emotional valley, this bit of a rut that I think you might be in. Now, don't forget to hit that like button, and please subscribe to this channel. And also, go check out the other videos that may pertain to your sun, moon, or rising signs. I think that'll give you a much more holistic, a much more dynamic picture of what's going on this week, okay? All right, on to the second part of this reading. We have the Seven of Swords down here. And I think this is kind of how you are looking at yourself today, right now. I think you see a little bit of a futility in your efforts. I think that you might be getting a little bit down on yourself, where you're just kind of talking negatively, you're thinking negatively, you're saying, well, it doesn't matter what I do, I just can't seem to get through this. I can't seem to get out of this state, this phase, this rut that I'm in. It just seems like all of your efforts aren't working, and I think you're really just being very pessimistic with yourself, just saying, you know what, I've tried to do this, I just can't do it. What I do is just not working, I'm not able to succeed. I think this is a lot of negative self-talk, a lot of putting yourself down, and just some of that negative internal dialogue that is just convincing you or reinforcing this idea that your efforts aren't amounting to anything, that your efforts aren't working to get you through this phase or this cycle. Okay. Now again, this isn't the objective reality. This is how you are looking at yourself, or how your mind is reflecting back upon you and giving you this picture of futility and this inability to move forward, and this just kind of blockage in terms of getting your life flowing again, getting this water energy that we see here, getting this flowing again, and getting to this the completion of this cycle, this valley that you might be in, you know, really wrapping that up and moving on and getting through this phase of your life, which again I think has something to do with that recent kind of rocky issue, turmoil, friction that you had emotionally. That's now stabilized, but it's still left you in a little bit of a rut. Okay, and we've already talked about the means of getting through that, and definitely just be aware of the internal dialogue that you have that might be convincing you or trying to convince you that you're not able to move forward, that the things you are doing aren't working, and so forth, right? Now, I think what is really going on in your environment is striving for this kind of balanced communication. And I think this might be, again, related to this situation here, maybe with this older male air energy and the emotional situation that has recently stabilized. I think what is really being worked on is this balanced communication, this harmonious communication, this just kind of clear and honest talking with each other, right? I think you really do have a lot of this Two of Swords energy about you, where you just want things to be clear. You want people to make their decisions and decide what they want, and to communicate that, right, with no minced words. Just be straightforward. Just tell me like it is. And I think that's what you're striving for. I think that's what the other person in this situation wants as well. I think your kind of ideal situation, the environment that you want, is this Six of Swords, this balanced, harmonious communication where everybody is on the same page and everybody is able to communicate their thoughts, opinions, desires, wants, and needs effectively, with no ambiguity, no vagueness. It's just straightforward, it's balanced, it's harmonious, and it seems like the two of you are going to be able to really exchange ideas and your thoughts and feelings in a very effective way, and it's going to be very balanced and harmonious and very clear and concise. And we get that with the Six of Swords here. It shows the beauty of the thinking and communicating, how it can be very magical with this person. I think once the two of you get on the same page, and I think once you do the work to pull yourself out of this rut, then I think that'll go a long way to help the communication with this person, okay? Your ultimate fear, I think, the thing that you're really worried about, is this Three of Swords. Like I said, there are a lot of air, a lot of swords here. This Three of Swords, I think, is indicating that what you're really worried about is just getting your heart broken, about going through the grief of loss of this relationship with this person. I think that is kind of at the forefront of your mind, is this the pain and the heartbreak that you might experience if this doesn't work out. Okay, but I think that, you know, with all the other cards here, I think that you have a good chance of working this out. I think a lot of it has to do with you pulling yourself out of this rut that you're in, getting out of this valley, start pulling yourself up and climbing upwards again. And this is always going to be a fear and a worry, I think, this Three of Swords. But the Three of Swords, this is kind of, you know, it kind of has a double meaning, right? So this is the fear of the heartbreak and loss and the grief if this relationship were not to work out. But this is also that idea that you want the truth anyway. Even if the truth is going to be painful, you still want to know where you stand. And if this relationship isn't going to work out, you'd rather know and deal with it than not know and just have this ambiguity just hanging over the whole relationship for, you know, months or years to come even. So this really is, you want the truth, you're kind of fearful that you're not going to know for sure what's going on, and that comes back to the Two of Swords that we were looking at. So I think that, you know, you're kind of scared that this will end and that you'll have to endure that grief and that pain and that heartbreak of this situation not working out. But you don't want to stay together if it wasn't meant to be anyway. So there's also that need for the truth and need for that understanding to sort this all out so that you can deal with the actual reality of the situation, okay? Now, the long-term outcome, kind of the final resting place of all of this energy, is this Seven of Discs. Now, this might not bode very well for this relationship, might be indicating that this is not going to work out, that this is, you know, you're going to try to work this out, it's just not going to happen, and there's going to be a failure for this to really like take root and really grow and manifest and really become something strong and stable. That is one way I think that this whole situation can go, and that is certainly a possibility with this Three of Swords that we talked about. You'd rather know and end it now than just extend it out for months or years before it really, you know, the truth really comes out, right? So this could be one way. Now, another way to look at this Seven of Discs is just saying that you need to connect with this person on something, a higher level, not just on the physical, mundane, earthly realm, right? So this Seven of Discs is saying that the way to victory in this situation, the way to really win and be triumphant, is not through the physical connection, the physical interaction. There has to be more of an emotional, spiritual connection. And really, you know, the only water cards that we saw or were at the very beginning was that Four of Cups and that Eight of Cups, and those were just talking about kind of the past situation and why you're feeling this rut that you're in now. But there really isn't a lot here showing a deeper connection with you and this person. There are no major arcana cards, right? There's very limited fire. There's very kind of negative water. So there's not a lot showing that there's a higher connection with this person. So maybe this relationship isn't going to work out if there is no higher connection, no emotional, spiritual connection. I see that there's going to be this mental, intellectual connection, and that's what you're working on. With all this air here, it's really about how you're communicating with each other. And maybe once that communication gets established into this beautiful harmony that we saw here, maybe then you all can transcend the earthly realm, that physical connection, and connect on that higher plane, that spiritual, emotional, intuitive plane, right? And so that could be the twofold meaning of this card here, the Seven of Discs, saying that that connection needs to transcend the physical realm. In order for this really to work out in the long term, you need to find a way to transcend that. But I think first is this immediate situation with getting yourself out of this rut so you can start feeling better, get your energy, get your vigor and vitality back, and then work on the communication, get that balanced and beautiful and harmonious again, and then you can work on this higher connection, right? But first things first, okay? Gemini, the time has come now for us to look at this confirmation card, this bonus card, this 11th card. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is going to give us the confirmation, if this is going to tie everything together for us or not. But what do we have is, ooh, the High Priestess. So we said there were no major arcana cards. We have a major arcana card now. This is that connection. This is that spiritual connection. This card goes from the highest spiritual realm down into the heart, into the center of you, in the center of the universe. If you're a Kabbalist, you will know what I mean. This goes from the spiritual source into each and every one of our hearts, into the center of the world. And so I think this is really that divine inspiration that the two of you need in order to have that connection in the spiritual and emotional realms that we talked about. This is a wonderful confirmation, and this is saying that yes, we were right with this Seven of Discs, saying that if you can transcend the earthly realm, that the purely physical connection with this person, and connect on a spiritual, emotional level, a deeper level, you're going to have that. And I think this card, this High Priestess, is confirming that for us, that yes, you can connect the spiritual source with your heart, and that is going to connect you with this person. This is that connection that we're talking about, that higher connection that transcends the physical plane. All right, so that I think is a wonderful confirmation. Gemini, thank you so much for letting me read for you today. If you want to stick around for the extended version, you can become a member of this channel. All of the information is down in the description box. This was your weekly tarot forecast on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Thank you.